and let all the fly skimmers feel the beat. Drop.
Hi guys, welcome to Dave C. Straight from the Pit. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a little bit of a different topic. What I've done is set up a bit of a game where I have 5 Joes in 5 different groupings, and my wife and my son Shane are going to comment on the Joes and pick their favorite one, maybe the ugliest one, and kind of just talk about it a little bit. So I thought I'd change it up a bit and maybe try something a little bit different here. Okay, I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, out of this group, I like this guy because he's plain. There's not much extra to it. The one I don't like, it's between either this guy or that guy. But I think I'm going to go with this guy because I really don't like those colors. The brown and the blue, they don't look good at all. Okay, next group. Out of this group, I like this guy because he looks more like a soldier, and I don't like this guy because I don't like how much red there is and how tall those boots are. It looks weird. From this group, I like this guy, and I like this guy because I like the colors, pink and purple. And I don't really like this guy. I don't like the mustache. I don't like that he's just wearing a vest, and I don't like the colors of his clothes. The next group, I don't know. I do like the color of his clothes. This guy is not too bad either. I don't like this guy. I don't know what it's supposed to be, a boxer or something. And I don't know, has a weird helmet. So yeah, I don't like this guy. It's weird. But looking at these figures, I don't like either of them. This looks like a construction worker. I don't know what that's supposed to be. This is like a diver or something, some suit. He's not too bad, I just don't like the mustache.
Okay, so out of these 5, my favorite would probably be Mutt, because I really like Junkyard. I really like the colors he's wearing, and he just looks like a really cool figure. And then my least favorite would probably be Serpentor, because I really don't like his big snake head and I'm not really a fan of his scales and the yellow and stuff. So he would be my least favorite. My favorite out of these 5 would be Stalker, because I really like the camo and the beret and stuff, and he looks like a really cool soldier. And overall, he's just a good figure. My least favorite would probably be Hiss Tank Driver, because I'm not really a fan of his colors and the mask he's wearing, because it makes his head look kind of weird, and not liking the blue really either. My favorite out of these 5 would definitely be Cobra Soldier, since he looks like such a cool character, and I really like the mask he's wearing and the helmet and everything, and the logo and the blue, everything just looks good. My least favorite would probably be Toxo Viper, since remember, I don't really like the purple and the helmet and all that really, just compared to everybody else, I think that he just looks worse than everybody else. My favorite out of these guys would probably be Footloose, since he looks like a really cool soldier, and he has all the equipment and the camo, and he looks super tough and stuff. And then my least favorite would probably be Sci-Fi, since the super bright green and the helmet and stuff, and all the space stuff, I don't really like that much. So yeah, again, compared to the other guys, I think that Sci-Fi isn't as good. My favorite out of these guys is Roadblock, since like the others, he looks super tough and strong, and cool like camo and stuff and helmet. And then my least favorite would probably be Secto Viper, since he looks super weird and big yellow suit and everything, and his face looks kind of weird. So yeah, those are my choices for the figures.
Okay, so I'm going to go last, and it's hard for me to pick off this list because I kind of like every figure, really. Like, it's pretty hard pressed to find one that I don't like from the 1980s. More of the, 92 to 94, there'd be quite a few that I would just absolutely not like. But as far as 1980s guys go, I kind of like everybody. So when I go through here and pick off the list, it's not that I don't like the figure that I'm saying looks the ugliest, I guess we called it. It's just that it's the least favorite out of the 5 to choose from. So for this one, we've got Flash there, 82 Flash, straight arm, that I really like. We've got Serpentor, we got Mutt and Junkyard, Ghost Rider, and a Frag Viper. So for my favorite out of these, I'd have to go with Mutt and Junk, because Junkyard is just an awesome dog, and I really liked him as a kid in the comic and on the cartoon. And Mutt was really, really good on the cartoon. And I like dogs a lot, so it just makes sense that I would like a dog handler. And in 1984, when he came out, he was the first figure I saw with an animal in the package. Spirit, of course, came with Freedom, the eagle. But yeah, he came with Junkyard, which was totally cool. So he's my pick for the one I like the most out of these 5. And this might surprise some people for the one I like the least. It would be Serpentor. I was never really a big Serpentor fan because I just really, really loved Cobra Commander so much. From the cartoon and the comic first. I read the comic first, of course. But I just really liked his voice on the Sunbow animated series. And I liked the idea of him being the Cobra leader, not this guy. Even though Serpentor had a cool backstory, and they tried the best they could with it, because they were kind of forced into making this figure, I never really liked him that much. I had him as a kid. He came with a Chariot, of course. But yeah, so out of those 5, those are my picks. Okay, cool. This is a neat group of 5. You got 88 Storm Shadow, 84 Blowtorch, 87 Rumbler, 82, or I guess this is my 83 version, Swivel Arm, Stalker, and 83 Hiss Tank Driver. So I'd have to say my favorite, I think everybody knows, it's Stalker. And I've already told everybody why I like him, so I'm not going to get into talking about that. He was my first Joe I got, Snake Eyes, Stalker, and Scarlet, Christmas 1982. So he kind of has some sentimental value. The straight arm one does. This is a swivel arm, which I still like, but it's not my favorite. But anyway, yeah, so out of those 5, that was an easy pick for me out of who my favorite is. And then my least favorite would be this 87 Rumbler figure. Just because he has a reused head. Like that's a Footloose head. 1985 Footloose. And he came with the RC car in 87, which was a neat little car. But I always thought it was kind of misplaced in the G.I. Joe toy line, just because it was a little bit different than everything else. Again, not that I don't like it, it's just that if we're going to pick from this list, and I have to choose one that I think is the ugliest or not the best, it would be this 87 Rumbler. Just because it's reused parts, like I believe that's Heavy Metal's jacket, 85 Heavy Metal's jacket, just repainted. So those are my picks out of these 5. So here we've got 85 Airtight, 83 Gung Ho, 83 Cobra Soldier, 82 Straight Arm Short Fuse, and 87 Techno Viper. So I'd have to go with my favorite being the 83 Cobra Soldier out of this group. They were Cobra Commander's main grunt guys in the very first issue of Marvel, #1 in 1982, released in June. And ever since that issue, I absolutely love them, and I always think of Cobra as these guys being their main battle troops. So out of all the troopers that came later, they were my favorite. Yeah, so out of these 5, that's my fave. And then I'd have to go with the one I don't like out of these 5. Again, this might shock some people because well, it might just shock some people. It would be Airtight. I had Airtight as a kid in '85, and he was really cool, but if I absolutely have to pick out of these guys, I'd have to say him. That would be the one I kind of don't like the most. The other one might be Techno Viper, but I kind of have grown to like him over the years, and he's kind of a cool Cobra operative guy that can fix stuff. And I kind of like that in the Cobra Legions. So yeah, it would have to be 85 Airtight. 83 Wild Bill, 86 Sci-Fi, 87 Big Boa, 82 Straight Arm Breaker, and 85 Footloose. So my favorite out of this grouping would be 82 Straight Arm Breaker, just because I have a lot of nostalgia for the first original Straight Arm guys on the Joe team, because I read the comics first and I knew all these guys, and I always liked that he was the one chewing the bubble gum. He always had the bubbles coming out of his mouth, and I just really liked him in the comic, and he was pretty cool in the cartoon later too. And then the next one I'd have to go with for the ugliest one that I don't really like. And I got to let some people down here again. I don't mean doing it, but it would be Sci-Fi. And it's not because of his coloring. I mean, a lot of people would just go right away and pick on his coloring. The lime green actually looks pretty cool, and he was one of the first ones that came out with the brighter colors. This was in 1986. But his name was Sci-Fi, and he was a laser trooper, so it made sense. So I that's not the reason why I don't like him out of the 5 here. It's just that I kind of like Big Boa there, the Cobra trainer, and because he would be the next one, of course, that I might not like. But yeah, that was a tough one to pick from because I like all these guys. 94 Shipwreck, 84 Roadblock, 88 Secto Viper that came with the bug, 85 Tollbooth, and 1990 Night Creeper. Yeah, have to go with the best one for me out of this group being 84 Roadblock. He was with Honolulu there on the 1984 movie, cartoon series, Sunbow, and that was fun. And how he would rhyme on the cartoon was always cool. And it was great that he was the second Joe team's heavy machine gunner that came along after Rock and Roll. Joe's kind of needed a guy like that, so I think that's really cool. I like that he was Afro-American because he was a little bit different than the other Joes. And yeah, so he's my favorite out of these 5. And the one I would like the least would be the Secto Viper. Not because I don't like the bug. The bug's kind of neat. And not because I don't like him either, but it's just that he stands out as being kind of the weirdo of the group in these guys. And he's kind of a sought-after figure. He's harder to get, and he's a little bit expensive. But for me, that doesn't make him better or something I want more. If a guy's worth $1 or a guy's worth $100, it doesn't really matter to me. It's more their backstory and what they mean to each side of Cobra or G.I. Joe, how they fit in and what they contribute. And this guy's a vehicle driver, which is cool, but he looks kind of funny, and compared to these other guys on this list, he's just would be the worst one. Okay, guys, that's it for another video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more 1980s G.I. Joe coming up. Okay, take care.